Hi, welcome to CL Wrestling. I am CL.
And this is Ruben.
And we're going to be doing something a little bit different today. Usually we do prediction videos, whether it's drafts or PLEs. But today we're going to be starting a new series titled Revisiting WrestleMania, where we go back and rewatch old WrestleManias that we have not rewatched in a while. And we just sort of talk about them.
Yes, and we've decided to start off with this series. It's WrestleMania 25. And the reason being is this was the first WrestleMania that both of us have watched. Not that we've been there, but that we've watched on television. And it's a special one because although I do remember bits of it, I definitely had to go and rewatch them.
This was the first time I got to rewatch this WrestleMania, and everything just kind of clicked together. So let's go ahead and talk about this WrestleMania, shall we?
Okay, so the first match of the card was the ladder match for the Money in the Bank contract.
And that was cool, right? When Money in the Bank was at
Yes,
WrestleMania.
I honestly really missed that.
Yeah, they should go back to that because I'm not a fan of the event being by itself. But the participants in this match, if I remember correctly, were Christian, CM Punk, Mark Henry, Kane, MVP, Shelton Benjamin,
And Finley.
Was Kofi in this match?
No.
Okay,
I
so I
believe
think
it.
those were it. What do you think of this match?
I thought it was pretty good. I know a lot of people wanted Christian to win this match.
Including me. I'm a huge Christian fan, and watching it and seeing the people pop for him, he was obviously the favorite to win. I don't mind that it was CM Punk who took it, though, because I did like where it led to. But personally, I think I would have liked Christian to win.
I think, well, although at the moment, a lot of people did want Christian, I think it turned out to be a good winner for CM Punk because he cashed in on Edge. He had a really good feud with Jeff, and he also had a solid match with Undertaker at Hell in a Cell. So I think overall, although a lot of people did want Christian to win this, CM Punk was a deserving wrestler for this contract. So
Oh, for sure, for sure. Some of the competitors in this match took me by surprise. Again, first time I rewatched this in a while, so it was crazy because Kane and Mark Henry, I would have never thought they were going to be in a Money in the Bank match.
and then Hornswoggle coming out of nowhere from the top rope
The little
and
ladder.
landing on everyone and everybody falling, like, come on.
There was definitely really cool spots.
And yeah, honestly, I don't really have a lot to discuss about this because I liked how the match went. I liked the little moments that it had, and also the winner. I think the winner was
Great starter, too.
Yeah, great start for WrestleMania for sure.
Yeah. Next match was a very disappointing one, in my opinion, and it made me realize that we've really come a long way when it comes to women's wrestling because we
100%.
have the Divas Battle Royale to crown the first ever Miss Wrestlemania. And who won this match?
Santino Marella. Now,
Santina.
why are you gonna have a Divas battle when a whole grown man is gonna win this?
It just felt so disappointing, and I believe I told you this behind cameras, that it just felt so disrespectful for the women who were on that match to imagine just being told, yeah, you're going to be in this match and it's going to be huge, but a man is going to take it. It's just so disrespectful, but if anything, it just shines light on how much we've improved when it comes to women's matches. Now, we have women main eventing WrestleManias.
We have Women's Royal Rumble, Elimination Chambers.
We had that whole Evolution pay-per-view, which
Yes.
was just women, which should come back, by the way. So, although watching this made me really upset and angry, at the same time, it just made me feel even more grateful for what we do have now. But in terms of who should have won this match, I do think it should have been Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, she was obviously the favorite, and it sucked that Santino had to win this.
Yeah, it was dumb. Hopefully, we never have to see this shit ever again.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was just maybe having a goofy segment, but still it makes no sense.
Yeah, how are
honestly.
you going to waste the one
Match that the
women's
Divas
match?
had. Yeah, this was the only women's match that they had on the card, and how are you going to waste it with the men winning it? So
Yeah, but you know what? It's in the past. Let's just move on. Next match was another unnecessary match, in my opinion. I think that this match just happened because they didn't have anything else to do with Chris Jericho.
yeah, sadly, and I mean, it wasn't a bad match. I mean, it was pretty funny, but it's just Chris Jericho did not have anything to do, so they said, you know what, let's have him beat up some old men.
Stop. He still won the match, but nevertheless, he still got embarrassed by them at the end, so it just felt really redundant. But, I mean, back in the day, I was a huge Jericho fan, and this was just very disappointing to watch. But, again, just filler for the card. Just give him something to do, I guess, and this was what they could do with him.
Yeah.
The fourth match in the card was good on paper, I felt.
Of course, you had an Extreme Rules with the two brothers, the Hardy Boys. And, you know, I feel that I could be biased and say, you know, Jeff should have won this. I mean, a lot of people wanted it to happen. I think that it was the obvious choice because Matt Hardy, what did he do with this dog?
Okay, so I had completely forgotten about this happening, right? So I rewatched it and I was looking at the promo that they have before the matches, and they're talking about how, like, Matt betrayed Jeff, he cost him, like, the WWE Championship or something. And then they just mentioned, oh yeah, by the way, like, when your house got set on fire and your dog died, that was me. Like, oh, excuse me? He killed your dog and you lost the match.
Yeah, and that is just...
It's crazy that that's what feuds were back in the day. Like.
Yeah, no, like, it was a really good feud. I just didn't like the winner, me personally. And I didn't like the ending to it, twist the fair in the chair.
Yeah, very abrupt finish to the match. It could have been worse. I did enjoy the match. I just wish that Jeff would have won instead. Did Matt do anything relevant after this win? Because I do not remember that.
I don't think so. Because Jeff was a world champion, or I believe he was competing for the world title that same year as well. So I don't know if Matt was doing anything important after that match. I think Jeff needed it more.
The next match of the card was JBL versus Rey Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship.
Another match that was wasted. I think Rey and JBL would have cooked for a couple minutes. Instead, they wanted to make it a little 20-second match. You know, JBL's talking on the mic, a little segment. It lasted longer than the match, so that's... Like, why?
He yapped for a bit. He was just, you know, giving shit to the people of Texas, and then he lost in, 28 seconds? 21 seconds?
I believe it was 21.
21, that was... Like you said, JBL and Rey Mysterio on paper sounds like a really good match.
Yes, they would have for sure cooked. I think they would have cooked, in my opinion, but they wanted to have this little 21-second match. It's whatever at this point.
I think they probably knew that Undertaker and Shawn Michaels was going to go on for a little bit longer than expected.
Maybe that too, because, yeah, like you said, we still had the 3 biggest matches left, and we already got into more than, 2 hours? 2 hours and 30 of, screen time.
Yeah, I noticed when I was watching it, there was a lot of filler where whether it was celebrity appearances or musical performances, it just took it a lot of the card, because I did find myself skipping those bits, and it was quite a bit. But next match was, I think, personally, the match of the card, the best match of the card, and also one of the best WrestleMania matches I've ever seen.
Exactly, like you stated, this is arguably the best match of all time. Arguably. It had everything. Taker almost fucking died in this, but...
back in the day, those cameramen were risking it.
Yes.
They were throwing themselves all over the place, and I respect that. They wanted to get those good angles. The
false kickoffs, just everything about that match was so damn
You see, now
good.
that you mention it, there were so many false finishes, Like, the kickouts... I swear they kicked out at 2.9999999.
Yes.
It was intense. It was amazing. The ending was perfect. I love that Taker kept his streak. And they made us believe that Shawn Michaels was a legitimate threat to the streak.
To beat the streak, yes. And, I was in shock. I remember my first time ever watching the match, I was just frozen because I couldn't believe what I was watching. We were watching a greatness in front of our eyes. 2 of the greatest wrestlers who have ever stepped foot in the ring. You're talking about the man who has the streak, the man who's never lost in WrestleMania, against one of the best performers at WrestleMania, if not the best performer at WrestleMania, going at it. It's just...
Mr. WrestleMania
Mr.
himself.
WrestleMania himself. It was just an instant classic.
Yes, definitely. And like you said, The Undertaker almost broke his neck during that suicide dive, but he did for the entertainment, and it was a great match. It was amazing. I like you said, I can't say anything more because we kind of said it all. It was a great match. Oh, the entrances were amazing.
That HBK entrance was so nice, and even Taker's too. I mean, it was just a masterpiece.
The entire feud was built on how Shawn was the light to the Undertaker's darkness, and that entrance just sort of solidified that even more. I think it was a great creative choice. And yeah, perfect match, honestly.
Yeah, 5-star match.
Next up is a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship between Edge, who was the champion, The Big Show, and John Cena.
Now, this match really upsets me. We were robbed off a John Cena versus Edge WrestleMania match. And it sucks that The Big Show was part of this match. I mean, just in my opinion, just Big Show tends to just ruin classics, in my opinion. Big Show just walks in there and just makes it a triple threat when he really shouldn't be there. I think it should have been Edge versus John Cena going for that World Heavyweight Championship. That's just me.
I do agree. I completely forgot that angle with Edge and Big Show and Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that was a thing. They probably could have fixed that in another pay-per-view at the time. It definitely should have been Edge and John Cena in a singles match. And I mean, I enjoyed the match. I am a John Cena fan until I die. I am so glad that he won. But it would have been better if he won on a singles match rather than with the Big Show there.
But one thing that I want to take away about it, though, is that there were a lot of great moments in that match. It was very entertaining. And then, obviously, John Cena picking up Big Show and Edge, that was...
Yeah, I wish he could have hit that attitude adjustment of both of them. But I guess Edge had to move.
Well, he was falling. I mean, he had to sell it somehow. So, right. I mean... that was very impressive. I mean, imagine Big Show's like 450 pounds,
yeah,
somewhere around there.
He's enormous.
He's huge, and then having Edge was another extra 240.
I do want to say though, we knew John Cena was winning the moment he had that fantastic entrance with like the 50 John Cenas there.
The fact that 50 John Cenas were there and he was the last entrant for that match.
That's how I know.
Yeah.
That's how I know.
That's how you know he's winning the fucking match.
If the champion is in the last entrance, he's not winning. So, yeah, I personally like the match. I just wish it would have been a singles match.
For sure.
Now for the last match of the card, we have the main event consisting of the WWE Championship match with a very, very weird stipulation between Randy and Triple H. Now, I know that you have a lot to say about this match, so let me just get my piece out of the way. I enjoyed this match. Probably not as much as I enjoyed previous ones in the card, but this feud at the time was incredibly heated. It was very intense, and it totally deserved the WrestleMania main event. However, I do think this match deserved a stipulation. I think No Holds Barred would have been great, or like a no DQ. That weird stipulation that they had, if Triple H gets disqualified or counted out, he loses the championship. It didn't really make sense to me, and I didn't like that there was a lack of interferences. Like, Legacy was right there. Why didn't they come out? Or like the McMahon family. It just felt like it didn't quite reach what they wanted to reach with it.
Right. It upsets me. This is what upsets me the most out of this whole card. It's that you're right, it did deserve the main event spotlight, and I'm a huge Randy Orton fan, and not because he lost am I saying that this was a disappointment. It's a disappointment because, like you said, make it no holds barred. Make it something. It was so heated. It's probably one of the best feuds of all time. Randy was out here destroying the McMahon family. Then Triple H goes to his house. Like, come on. They had to have some sort of stipulation, and I feel like we were robbed off of that. I just feel like this match could have been so good. And especially, of course, like if Legacy interferes and then the McMahons come out of nowhere and back up Triple H, maybe that could have been also a great moment. It's not really the fact that Randy Orton losing this, because I do feel, however, that he should have won this match. But the fact that he loses and in that way, like where really it's just a normal match, like it really upsets me.
I don't think... I'm going to disagree with you on something. I don't think Randy should have won this match. I think Triple H was the correct winner. However, I think the circumstances should have been a little bit different. If Randy got cocky and then had Legacy come and interfere, and Triple H still find a way to win, typical WWE fashion, this side has his allies, the other side had his allies, and they fight, and the match ends with the good guy winning, that would have made sense to me. But I think the lack of stipulation and the lack of, I guess, more involvement in the match by outside forces just made it a little bit... I don't want to say disappointing, because I don't think it was a disappointing match. I just feel like it probably deserved a little bit more, and especially because we had such an amazing match with the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. It just felt like
also that too. The crowd was very tired after that match.
The crowd was very tired, and I think we had a talk about that. How I personally believe that the main event should have been the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, and you mentioned, well, we did not
know first off that the match was going to be that good, and there was no way where Triple H and Randy Orton were not going to be the main event, because that was the main storyline, main feud, top feud, the two biggest stars at that moment. So it's just.
Do you have a favorite spot in the match? Personally, I really liked when Randy went for the sledgehammer and he was going to hit Triple H while the ref was down.
That was cool.
And then Triple H just punt kicks him.
I
really liked that spot.
Also the spot where I really liked was when Triple H was going to go for a pedigree on the table, and then Randy lifts him up and DDTs him on the table. That was also a pretty cool moment. And then off the bat, Triple H just starts like throwing punches, and out of nowhere an RKO comes out. Like, that was pretty cool. I did not expect that when he just hit the RKO in the first 2 minutes of the match. That was pretty cool. I like that.
They definitely had great chemistry, and
of course,
it just sucks that the match didn't reach the lengths that we wanted it to reach, but it was still a very enjoyable match. Now, how many stars from 1 through 5 would you give this WrestleMania as a whole? I know we've sounded a little bit negative with how much we've been kind of shit-talking some of these matches, but I did like this WrestleMania. Like I said, it holds a very special place in my heart because it was the first WrestleMania I watched. But what would you give it?
Let's go through now that we kind of made a whole criticizing this WrestleMania. I think there are very good moments. For example, I really liked the ladder match. It was a really good way to start WrestleMania. I really liked obviously the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker match was a classic. There were a lot of big moments in the John Cena and Edge and Big Show match, and the main event wasn't as bad, but once again, it could have been better. I would give this WrestleMania a solid 3 out of 5.
So that was our revisiting of WrestleMania 25. Very, very solid WrestleMania. The next episode, we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 31. I have not seen this WrestleMania.
She missed out. That WrestleMania was, oof. Honestly, a lot of people have problems with recent WrestleManias other than 40 and 39. We had a really long stretch when we had very mid WrestleManias, but this WrestleMania in particular, it's one of my favorites that I've seen.
Of course, I've seen moments here and there about this WrestleMania, but I don't think I've seen it from beginning to end by myself. So I'm excited to be able to revisit that WrestleMania after I watch it and talk about it, because I feel like I missed quite a lot without WrestleMania because I had stopped watching wrestling and I got back into it later that year. So I just about missed WrestleMania, which sucks, but that's okay because we're going to revisit it soon on the next episode. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know your favorite moments or your least favorite moments of WrestleMania 25. I am CL.
And this is Ruben. Please turn on those notifications, please.
We'll see you next time. Bye!